So, you're here, and you want to learn how to make a graveyard base, I'm guessing. Okay, well, let's get right into it, shall we? Basically, the first start of it is that you need to give it some volume. You don't just want a flat, plain, boring base. I mean, you can, it is easy in terms of an army, but if you want something a bit more interesting, you need to give it a bit of depth and a bit of height. You can use anything. I just happen to have some foam around, so I'm going to use that. So, just literally gluing the foam to the base. I'm going to use that massive lump of wood behind just to give it some texture in a second, just to soften some of the edges and sharp corners and things like that. But you can use cork tiles, anything. It doesn't matter whether it looks rocky or base-like at all, because we'll be covering it in later steps. So it is just building up some kind of sort of raised surface. The only consideration is for a graveyard is that you've got to put the headstones in. With foam, that's quite easy. So you can just carve into it and insert the headstones. With other things, might be slightly more difficult, but you can just glue them on. So with these, you just press them in. I don't know where this foam was from. It's just an offcut of fairly hard. It's almost like XPS foam, but not the blue kind. And you just cut away, trim out where you want the headstones to be, and glue them in place. Here we go, so that's both headstones in. That's a bit too tall for my liking on the one side, so we'll just cut the one headstone down just to give it a bit more variation, have one broken headstone as well as the freestanding one. So you want to arrange things in a fairly natural way, and when you are gluing to foam, you need to make sure you have foam safe glue, such as this Gorilla Gel Super Glue, which is absolutely fine. Plastic glue will not work, that will melt the foam. Now, this is why it doesn't matter what you use to build the base up with, because this is a mix of PVA glue, sand, and paint, which will be then covering pretty much the entirety of the base with. If you have larger stones that you've already put down, don't cover them in this. If you look at real stones, the dirt doesn't just follow every surface, so you use this as the ground and only as the ground. And we're using some Pabeo matte paints for this as well, and a little bit more PVA by the looks of it. The Pabeo paints are very matte, very good for this sort of thing, but they can get a little bit chalky, so it is really good for basing. So you want to mix roughly about that sort of consistency. It sort of goes on, it keeps its shape, and you can move it around. If it starts to settle, in terms of it starts to look like it's going smooth and shiny, don't worry about it. That changes as it dries. Don't do the edges though. We'll be sorting those later. They just get covered in a layer of putty. I'm using a sort of dental sculpting tool here just to push it into some of the harder to reach areas. And whilst it's still wet, and you can see it is starting to look smooth there, that will change as it dries. We place down anything that we want to sort of sink into the dirt. So the headstone is a perfect example because they're going to be quite heavy. So you push that down along with the other broken piece of it, and use the sculpting tool to sort of push the texture mix up to the edges of the gravestone itself. And then you can add some more rocks, bits of leaves and things like that, just anything to give texture and variety. When you're putting the leaves and things down, if you've got some of these, I think they're sycamore seeds possibly, or something like that. When you're putting those down, make sure they stay flat. You don't want to necessarily paint them as leaves. You could if you wanted to, but you don't have to. So having them laying flat is much better. So we've given the edge of the base a layer of what's called epoxy sculpt, which is just a hard, sort of almost milliput-like material. So you can do that with yours if you're using foam or whatever you're using, just to fill out those edges. With the leaves, a nice coat of thin PVA glue, you can soften them and get them really flat to the surface as well. Onto the base coat. This is a mix of, again, the Pabeo green, but much darker, with a Citadel black. The Pabeo black goes a little bit too grey to be useful and doesn't go dark enough for a situation such as this. So just coat the whole thing. You want for the type of base that I've gone for, a dark green, very dark green works perfectly, because we'll be pretty much sticking to greens and browns and then just working our way up. We'll be using both value and saturation of colour and desaturation of colours to get the sort of stone look of the headstones. So now comes the fun part. Get some greens, some browns, some other browns, and a really bright green. This one's an ink from dioramas, but you can use as a contrast paint, an effects paint, which is very similar, and just plonk them all on and smush them about. There is no rhyme or reason to this at all. Just get stuck in, get messy, get thinned paints, unthinned paints, and just swish them around until you get something that's pleasing and covers everything. You know, make sure you cover everything. Use drops of water, splash it about. You don't want too much of the really bright green, but keeping a bit of it is good. Now, once that's dried, that goes a lot darker than you expect it to. And then we need to start highlighting, we need to start building up the sort of volumes and tones on the headstones. So we'll start with the greens. So we'll start with, I think it's Warpstone Glow, but just use a green that's quite similar to what's already on the base, if you can match them. That's the best way of doing it, is just to match what's on there and just start doing dots, scratches, stippling, anything to really give a sense of texture and age to the headstone. And what we'll do is we'll use what's called desaturation, which was taking the colour out of the green, so it goes almost grey towards the top. And as we're lightening it as well, which is called the value, so we're increasing the value and decreasing the saturation. You can see we're going up brighter each time we do a pass of scratches and chipping and things. I mean, you can always adjust this afterwards with glazes if you want to, if there's things you're not happy about. But it's a nice way of doing things. You can see it's almost starting to look like stone already. But when you go up with this one's Skarsnik green, I'm not going to cut that out because I wanted to do this whole voiceover in one go, so it's probably terrible, but it does the job. Probably my least favourite part of making the videos is doing these voiceovers at the end, but it does help people, so onwards we shall go. So keep the chips and scratches towards the top of the gravestone, because generally they'll get darker towards the bottom. Just sort of simulates the light catching it a little bit as well, just gives it a bit of depth. You notice we're doing all of the stones on the ground as well, but we're leaving the ground itself for the moment. So it doesn't actually need too much on the ground, because the rocks themselves and the stones are the focus. And most of the dirt will be having some kind of foliage or tufts and things over it. So you don't need to do too much to it at all. So we're moving up in colour again. Deepkin Flesh I think I use for this, which is a Citadel colour, which is quite nice. And then for the actual base you can just use some browns and some greens and just go up a couple of steps in value to what you've already got. You don't have to go too far at all. The key really is to be quite random with it and just have a bit of fun. Just move it around until you get something that's pleasing to the eye. What we're doing now is we're going in with some, I believe this is an actual grey, so we've reached the sort of limits of saturation, and just giving it that extra little push towards stone. There we go. That's not looking too bad at all. What we're going to do now is grab whatever tufts, bits of grass, anything you've got, lay them out. Don't worry too much about colours as long as they're not super bright, but we'll be going over with a few washes and things and paints just to sort of blend them into the base. So I wasn't too concerned about differing colours. Variety, it works well with things like this. Got some ground up foam as well, which makes for a really good sort of moss effect. And again, not worrying about the colour of it at all. Just be random with your grass tufts, and if you're using flock, a static grass applicator probably would be a good idea here, but it's not too bad. Because you've got the tufts as well, you've got some that's stuck up and some that's smushed down, so you've got a variation again. So you want some dark browns, dark greens, and you go round the edges of each piece of the grass over the moss, and just sort of blend everything in. Because the washes will dry slightly lighter, they'll become less apparent as they're drying. So it sort of forces everything, blends everything together quite nicely. And with these tufts and things, you can paint them. You've got to make sure the glue's completely dry first, but we'll just go over with a couple of sort of the core colours that we've already been using in much the same manner as we have done previously, just with a Scarsnet green in the Warpstone glow, and because you use that on all of the vegetation, doesn't really matter what the sort of underlying colour is, because all the highlights are the same. It makes them all fit together and work together. And the moss just gets a coat of moot green. So the very last little bit is one of the key parts to make this look kind of real. Is you want a very, very thin layer of an almost sort of off-white, just to really take the edges of these headstones up. And then they have very small spots of lichen that sort of appear on very, very old headstones. So you want to use the thinned version of the paint for a glaze towards the top, and then spotting and dotting for the sort of lichen, just fairly randomly, not too heavily, across each of the headstone pieces. And as far as painting goes, edge the base, and that's done. There we go. Subscribe, and I'll do more of this. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.